Welcome back. You're watching Dealmakers, and as promised, what are the factors which are going to impact the equity markets in India and therefore the equity issuances by the large companies? So coming back to that, Mr. Maheshwari, where we left, FIIs have turned net sellers in the past few sessions we have seen. Do we read too much into it, or is it just momentary profit booking with ups and downs of the market? Or do you think the US Fed phenomena is really finally creeping in?
Well, it's very difficult to gauge very short-term flows, and it's really more post-facto, frankly. I don't think you can predict these sort of things. I think if you look at the bigger picture, in the last 22 years that foreign investors have been investing into the Indian equity and fixed income market, out of 22 years, they've been positive 20 years and negative only 2 years. So there's clearly a higher ownership that they'd like to assume in the equity market. Similarly, in fixed income markets, I think they've been 4 or 5 years negative and 18 years odd positive. So I think it's safe to assume that we're going through an ownership change that's very gradual over a period of time. And given surplus liquidity in the world and what India has to offer, logically we should be receiving more flows and have higher ownership. The FI ownership in a lot of emerging markets as well as in Southeast Asia typically tends to go up to 30%. So there's still headroom in that sense.
There are one or two things I just want to add to Anoop's point last about how we see directionally what could be trigger points. I think if you go back to Indian equity markets, particularly in years 2003-4 when the markets were really good, I think there were two trends which really helped. One is low interest rates. We have always seen if other things are good, corporates, promoters really like to make investments in that cycle. The second is price of commodities. So if you look at oil, I think it's a big benefit today. If oil prices can remain soft, it's a big thing for India. And India is on the way to look at correcting its macro. So if you look at electronics, gold and oil is really the place. So I think the commodity seems to be support-worthy today. For the first time we are talking of a rollback in diesel prices. So I think that's going to help. And we are seeing optimism with promoters and corporates. I think the corporates we meet are really thinking directionally in the future. And one last thing that, and Anoop touched on it very well, is that one thing that we admire about many of Indian corporates is they use every one of the downturns to improve efficiencies. That's why while the results are not immediate, you will see their gross margin, the EBITDA margin keeps improving because they're constantly looking at how they can sort of improve productivity. I think some of this will align themselves all together, hopefully in the next 12-15 months as we correct our macro. And that's really the point to look forward from a primary market point of view, when we think it can really...
So all the ingredients are there and they're just coming together. And yeah, we have come from under recoveries to an over recovery phase, though slightly. But Mr. Sharma, you want to add to this, how difficult is it to sell a PSU issuance at this point? You are working on some of the large ones.
On PSU deals, I think I would tend to agree with what Ramesh mentioned. Typically, monopoly kind of situations, generally speaking, good companies, of course, being a government company, there are some restrictions which they have. But I think from a selling perspective, I don't see it any different from a private sector company.
As far as the PSU banks recapitalization is concerned, they have probably given a chart to the banks that you have to go in a staggered manner and hit the market. So that
sequencing is one thing, and the other thing also, I think the urgency which I see in the government, unlike in the past when Jan to March used to be the quarter where most of the disinvestments used to happen. If you ask me to take a bet, I think a lot of that will get done before December this year.
All right. So taking advantage of probably the festive season, but Mr. Maheshwari, how do you see these issuances? And even though they'll be staggered and they'll be well spaced out by the government, but is there enough appetite for these large issuances? Because we have Coal India, we have ONGC, NHPC, SAIL coming in, and then whole host of banks to start with SBI's QIP, which is expected to be large.
Ideally in the past, whenever these large issuances have come, we've always liked to have had slightly better clarity on some of the government policy around some of these companies. So, on gas pricing, for instance, on coal-related restructuring. So, as investors, you would ideally like all the answers, but sometimes the government's not in a position to give it. In any which case, though, we've seen these issuances go through quite successfully based on the pricing that they come out with.
So, this is probably a time where you have the 4 components of the market all probably in the money in terms of having amounts. the FIIs, the domestic mutual funds and insurance companies, the retail and the high net worth. So really, if they continuously keep investing in paper, and if they're broadly making returns, each to suit how they're looking at it, but if they're in the money broadly, I think that will propel them to continuously invest. I think the money exists.
I think the House is pretty united as far as the valuations and the equity bull run is concerned. Things look positive at this point, is what the consensus is here with our special panel of guests who have been working with the companies and also ascertaining whether to invest in a particular issuance or not. So lots of issuances expected to hit the market, and a lot of them would be on case-by-case basis depending upon the fundamentals of the company which are really coming and hitting the market. But IPOs is something which our house says that is expected in FY16. So with that, we've come to the end of this special discussion. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining us, and thanks to our viewers. Thank you so much.